Hey y'all, Sub-Zero 3639 coming back at you as usual. Uh, wanted to come in and do a video about people like I've seen people like Boyce Watkins and Willie D make videos of people that just downright hate LeBron because he's so, I don't know. I guess people hate him because he's doing good for the community. I don't know what people think, but when people dislike LeBron, it seems to be a large contingency of people that seem to get it in their minds that people are just downright haters, jealous of LeBron. Like either they want to be LeBron or they're such a Kobe fan or such a Jordan fan or such a Kareem fan or whatever, and they want to hold LeBron back. And they're, somehow making him the most hated player in the NBA. Let me say this right here. You know why LeBron James is one of the most hated players? Because I don't think he is, number one. The reason he's one of the most hated players is because everybody says he's one of the most hated players. But in the midst of them saying he's one of the most hated players, it causes the regular average fan to not like him. Because I've never seen so much excuse making for a guy who just quite frankly does not measure up to the people that he's trying to surpass. But the media, when they get finished, is going to make this guy one of the top 5 greatest players to ever play the game, regardless of the facts, regardless of all these games where he's come out and come up short, regardless of all the times that he showed he was a horrendous leader, regardless that he left his coach. Have you ever heard of a player after the game getting the team to leave the coach because he's so upset they left the coach at the Coliseum and drove? Or have you ever heard of a player who charters his own bus after the game and rides away from the rest of the team? Have you ever heard of a player who walks off the floor 20 seconds before the game is over because he's upset that they lost? Right? He walks off, leaves everybody. Have you ever heard of a player who sits there and has to literally get pushed to play defense on his own man? And I bet you like, well, so I mean, you a hater. Are these facts? Yes or no? Did he not do that? So when somebody, see, this is the thing. This is why I had a video called The Hater Witch Hunt. It's a witch hunt. Everybody's so quick to call people haters when in all actuality, maybe I'm telling the truth. Maybe, see, let me explain something to you for those youngsters that's listening. You probably was too young to remember. I'd say around 2004, 2005, 2006. Kobe Bryant, when he had that rape charge, that rape case, Kobe Bryant was playing at a level we had not seen since Michael Jordan. Right? Now, everybody in the game, it was so crazy. Nobody wants to talk about this, but it was so crazy with Kobe. If you said something bad about Kobe, if somebody dared criticize Kobe Bryant, Kobe would get him 50. Minimum. Even, I think it was 2012 for the Olympics, Kyrie Irving actually challenged Kobe Bryant and said something at the Olympics. He was just playing, but he's like, "We're gonna play 1-on-1," and Kobe was like, "Nah, I'm gonna give you the business when I come to Cleveland." Right? Kobe comes to Cleveland. I mean, Kyrie had a decent game. I think he had like 20-something points. Kobe went off for like 45 and locked Kyrie up the last quarter and locked him completely up. And the Lakers won. I mean, you're like, so what? What I'm telling you is, the guys that were the greats, you don't have to really fight and argue and debate that much in the middle of their heyday. You see what I'm saying? I don't have to. The fact that LeBron left Cleveland, I have a big problem with. There was a time I liked LeBron. I've never liked LeBron since he left Cleveland, went to Miami, and tried to leapfrog greatness. He felt like, you know what, I'm going to go and stack my own super team, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because say what you will about the Boston Celtics, all those guys had played 12, 13 years in the league by the time they even formulated the Boston Celtics in their big three. And let's be honest, Ray Allen was not the player he used to be. He used to be an athletic slasher who shot a mid-range game. He was not the guy to come down and shoot the three like he became. Paul Pierce was a finisher. He wasn't. But if you want to depend on him the whole game and come out and give you 40 every night, night in, night out, he do it, but you'll probably lose because he would have to do it probably like James Harden does it. Kevin Garnett was just a spark plug of a player, and he didn't put up all those numbers that he put up when he was in Minnesota because he had been there a long time. In fact, it is said that when he left Minnesota, he said he stayed there too long. He should have left earlier. That's what he said. Now, nonetheless, Danny Ainge orchestrated that team. So the first time a player chose to get on the phone and corroborate with other players and say, hey guys, let's get together, was LeBron, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade, who at the time in 2010 was a top 3 player. I'm not just saying this. Go back and watch the games, the D Wade versus Kobe, D Wade versus LeBron. Just watch the games. You'll see what I'm talking about. The reason it was a big deal wasn't because D Wade was past his prime. D Wade hadn't been in the league for maybe 6-7 years back then. D Wade in his third year went all the way to the finals and won. His second year, he went to the finals and lost. Wait a minute, did he? Yeah, he won the first time. The next time they ran into your boy, they lost. But what I'm saying is, and that's Dirk Nowitzki. But what I'm saying is, if you look at D Wade went to the finals, got finals MVP. And the year before that, they were one game away with, was it Stan Van Gundy or Mike, one of the Van Gundy brothers had coached them to like one game away from the NBA finals. That's when Pat Riley came down because everybody saw that team was one step away from being in the finals. This was his second year out of college. D Wade was no slouch. D Wade came in second in Rookie of the Year voting in 2003. Okay, so this guy, no, he came in third. I'm sorry. He came in third. But if you go look at his numbers, he was right up there. It was him, Carmelo, and LeBron. These guys was putting in work. And by the time 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, D Wade was a top 3 player, dude. People got short memories. I don't. I grew up watching Michael Jordan. I saw real greatness. Guess what? I didn't have to debate with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan proved it. When he stepped on that floor, I didn't have to worry about debating if there were guys who could even come to close to beating him. He was untouchable in that regard. Did he have seasons where they didn't even have the best record? Yeah. But when he got in that finals, he would go against 60-win teams and they would get them done in 6 or 5. They did a gentleman's sweep of Seattle Supersonics. They did, and that was a hell of a team. Y'all, people act like, oh, that wasn't no good team. That was a 60-some-odd win team he played. He played a bunch of good teams. In fact, those last 2 rings in Chicago, the last year, Scottie Pippen sat out with back problems. That whole just off about 25 games. Jordan carried that team to the finals, man. People, this is greatness. This is what it looks like. So when I hear this guy out here making a video, not making a video. Yeah, when I hear people like Boyce Watkins saying the media's going after LeBron because he's finally struggling. No, the media's not going after LeBron. The media's on his side. I cut the TV on and I see Max Kellerman saying stuff like he's twice as good as Kevin Durant. Durant put it in this boy's mouth 2 years in a row in Cleveland, and he was scared to check him, but he's twice as good as Kevin Durant. The last time I saw him try to check Kevin Durant, y'all gonna laugh at this. This is real. He tried to check Kevin Durant one time, I think when Shane Battier retired. And it was the last year in Miami, and Russell Westbrook was sitting out, and Kevin Durant was playing in OKC. And Kevin Durant came to Miami and put LeBron on skates. Kevin Durant was toying with him. This game does not get publicized, but I remember sitting there watching like, damn. Kevin Durant, like he was mad that people even tried to say that he wasn't even on LeBron's level. So he came and they came in Miami's house and destroyed Miami right there. I'm not surprised they lost that last year to San Antonio when he was in Miami. Because I saw it then, I was like, he's not as good a defender, on-ball defender, as people will make him out to be. He's a chase-down block guy. That's what he does. I know because I used to do it. So I know what it's like to chase a guy down and pin his shot to the glass. I know because I was an athlete. See what I'm saying? So I know what that's like. But what I'm telling you is, when I look at a guy like that, I'm not impressed. I don't see something to be, marveled at, because he goes down and says, I need, top 3, top 5, top 10 players on my team so we can make a run. So you got to have not even top 10. I'm sorry, because you might can make a case in certain instances that maybe Jimmy Butler might can squeeze into the top 10. They call it Jimmy Butler second tier. So he can't get a Kemba Walker. He has to get, there's only 4 or 5 players that he would even consider, that they would even consider good enough to play with him to get him over the hump. Otherwise, Kemba Walker, which we can make an argument he's a top 10 player. Jimmy Butler, we can make an argument he's a top 10 player. And a myriad of other top 10 players, they're not good enough. He has to have, Antetokounmpo. He has to have Kevin Durant. He has to have, Kawhi Leonard. He has to have top 5 talent to even get to the finals, to play. And that's the problem. And he's not going to check the other team's best player. You see what I'm saying? That's who Shane Battier checked. Why do you think they were trying to get Trevor Ariza this year? I knew they were going to go. Out of all the players in the NBA, they kept wanting Trevor Ariza. Why? Because they could get Trevor Ariza in the starting lineup and put Trevor Ariza on the other team's best player, and then they would have a shot to win. That's what he wanted. You see what I'm saying? That's why they struggled. This dude, and this is the thing. I want you guys to really do your homework and understand, man. Like, I'm tired of hearing, and it's like, when I make this video, I shouldn't have all these excuses, things that I can come up with to say, well, these are the reasons why. Like, I shouldn't be able to come up to this and say this. You see what I'm saying? I should not have this many reasons why he's not like, I'm like, dude, you want to say you up there with Michael Jordan and Kobe, and you can count the times where you can make excuses. The times that you said something about Kobe was after that damn Achilles tear, and prior to that, where Nelly went on ESPN and basically said nobody wants to play with him. In fact, I'm going to put this clip in here, and I want y'all to watch this clip, and I want y'all to tell me if this doesn't sound familiar, because I promise, if you take Kobe's name out, this is exact. I will swear he's talking about LeBron. Listen to this.
So let me ask you, in your opinion, why do you think Dwight Howard left the Lakers?
You really want to know why I think he left the Lakers?
Yes, that's why we're asking.
I'm going to say this only because I said, who wants to play with Kobe?
Oh, you're about to go blasphemous.
Who wants to? That's my point. You see that? That reaction right there?
Yes.
That reaction right there is why the Lakers are in the state that they're in right now.
You're blaming Kobe?
I'm not blaming Kobe, but who has ever blamed Kobe? Has Kobe ever been held responsible for any of the actions?
Kobe was held responsible for Shaq. When Shaq left, everyone was very upset with Kobe about when Shaq left.
Yes, they were.
But then what happened? He got 2 7-footers and got you 2 more rings.
Right.
Winning solves all.
So you trying to tell me Kobe Bryant couldn't have put a phone call in to get Phil Jackson 2 more days? I don't think Kobe wanted Phil Jackson. I think he's that. Wow. I think he's that type of person that he's trying to prove that he can win a ring without Kobe Bryant.
You would have have me.
Oh,
if
no.
If
I think he's the Black Mamba now. Don't get it twisted.
No, I get you. I know you're not questioning that.
No. The boy can ball. Don't get that twisted.
Stay with me. I'm not accusing you of that.
Okay.
I'm saying you would have me really, really thinking about that if the coach wasn't Mike D'Antoni. The fact that it was Mike D'Antoni that came in, as opposed to somebody else. I'm saying to myself, no.
But it don't matter. You should want to come play with Kobe. He's arguably, some people argue him as the top 3 player of all time. How do you not want to play with a top 3 player of all time?
I was addressing your point about how he probably wanted to prove something and he didn't want Phil. So
Okay,
I'm saying,
sorry.
no, I don't believe that was the case because, listen, the one thing that Kobe learned when Shaq left, you got to remember, when Shaq left, Phil left.
Right.
You had, who did you have? You had Rudy Tomjanovich. He came real quick, you know what I'm saying, and left real quick. You know, it took you a while. You went through a couple of years struggling big time before ultimately Phil came back, and then you got Pau Gasol in that trade for Kwame Brown. That's what happened, okay? So I'm just saying, Kobe understands you need a coach to handle their business.
Wait a minute. You got 5 rings. You should be a coach on the floor. What? At this point in your career, listen, at this point in your career, why does everybody sweep 2006 under the rug? 2006, he's up 3-1 on Phoenix.
That's true.
Nobody does.
Nobody does.
Who's that? No, but what I'm saying is that you said Dwight Howard quit on the Lakers.
I didn't say that.
No, I said, why do you think
people said it?
Yes, okay.
People said it. Right. Social media said it. I say that then.
Okay.
That's what I speak about. I didn't say you guys said it.
Okay.
So you come to a situation where I've never seen a guy such as Kobe Bryant, nobody wants to come play. Why isn't there no free agents or people knocking down the door to play with Kobe Bryant?
Because the free agents who are marquee wanted to be their show. This is Tinseltown, baby. This is Hollywood. Where you doing
People are taking pay cuts to go play with LeBron James.
They're going to South Beach.
People taking pay cuts.
Those are the people.
Josh Smith went to Detroit for peace sake.
Time out. Hold on, I got this. Because this is some blasphemous stuff.
I got black. That's my point. That's my point.
Listen to me.
That's my point. Every time it gets to
play
this,
with LeBron, D-Wade, these are role players.
What does that mean?
I'm saying they're role players.
But they're taking pay cuts to go play.
But they're role players.
What role players does the Lakers have right now?
You're right about that.
Your best role player you just had just left. You let him go.
Meta?
Yeah. The only person that's willing to play with him.
No, but you had to amnesty him to save money because
it don't matter because Kobe don't want to take a pay cut. So
what you talking about? Take a pay cut? You signed him to a contract years ago. He's owed $30 million.
Magic took a pay cut for Vladdy.
Magic got part ownership.
I wouldn't care. Not while he was playing. Not while he was playing.
Listen,
not while he was playing. He took a pay cut to win. It ain't like Kobe need the money, right? I'm not saying that, Kobe. I ain't counting your pockets, brother. But I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm not counting your pockets.
Nelly, can I finish my thought?
But I'm saying,
Magic signed a 25-year deal.
Matter.
We know he's not going to play for 25 years. So in essence, that was a de facto ownership stake.
So wait a minute. So Kobe just gonna hold it. So Kobe's in it for the money now.
Oh no, I'm saying.
Well, then which one you gonna be?
If you sign a contract, you get $30 million. You get $30 million.
Bro, I thought you talking about being a leader, being a pay cut.
So you saying
Michael Jordan was underpaid the worst to his last 2 years in the league, so he can have the best team possible to win this with him.
Jerry Weinstock wouldn't pay him.
Weinstock wouldn't pay him. See? That's what I'm saying. So the last 2 years,
he still could have held out.
Time out. The last 2 years of Michael Jordan, he deserved every
$35 million a year.
30 and $33 million. When nobody else in the league was getting paid 17. Michael, he deserved every penny. He got his money. But the point that I'm trying to make is it was time to cash in. What's the problem? Manage your books and adjust. You are the money maker that you are. You talking about giving back money?
Wait a minute. I thought it was about. I'm not. I don't play basketball.
He won 5 rings.
He won 6.
Okay.
He won't get it.
I agree with that.
Okay then. So what are we talking about?
But that's his fault.
No, but everybody's around here.
But you're saying Dwight left because he didn't want to play with Kobe.
I'm not saying that.
So what are you saying?
I'm not saying that specifically. But what I am saying is that I've never seen him as the leader raise anybody's game on the court.
I saw him raise.
He's never made anybody better. Pau Gasol was all-star before he got to the Lakers.
Yeah, and he got better once he got to the Lakers.
No, he didn't. His stats went down. He's scoring lesser points.
He was more.
Now he got down.
Come on now.
Now he got down.
And you got the
right now he got down.
Black Mama's a closer.
He's had the best 3 centers. He's had the best 3 centers in the past 15 years, and ain't nobody got a good word about him.
Oh, Shaq will give you a good word about him.
Now he will. He's a commentator.
No. Oh, excuse me. If anything,
what are you talking about?
Now. He'd get worse.
He's had the best 3 centers in the past 15 years.
And 1 title.
One guy left. You know what he did to show him? He unfollowed him on Twitter. I'll show you.
Hey, there was nothing wrong with that.
I'll show you.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Here's what I cannot.
Are you kidding me? That wasn't whack. That wasn't whack.
It didn't bother me.
That wasn't whack.
He's not my teammate anymore.
That's the problem.
He's not my teammate anymore.
Ain't nobody.
I'm about to go to war against this cat.
You're following over 800 people. You telling me all them people play for you? All them people are Laker fans?
Most of them are Laker fans that he's following. He's talking about Kobe follows 800 people, and they're mostly Laker fans.
He's following.
People who love him.
No. If you go down his first 5, you'll see Mark Cuban, the guy who probably wants to beat him the most.
Can I ask you a question before you go to Skip?
Yeah.
Real quick, yes or no answer. Does Shaquille O'Neal win 3 rings without Kobe? Because I know Kobe doesn't win the 3 rings without him, but does he win the 3 rings without Kobe?
And on that team?
Yes.
Or does he get a chance to go somewhere else and play?
No, on that team.
Play with
he
somebody
went
else?
to Miami and won a title there too. But did he win 3 rings with the Lakers?
No, listen, don't get it twisted. I definitely think that, again, I don't want to sound like that. I think Kobe Bryant is one of the best basketball players to ever play the game. All right? As far as the NBA player, as far as being a leader, as far as elevating everybody else's game around you and have everybody else believe that they're better than what they are, that's what a leader does. That's what a leader does.
You question his leadership. That's fine.
He makes them believe that they're
fair.
better than they really are. Not going out and then a game 7 of a Western Conference Finals and only shooting the ball 3 times.
That was the first round.
Well, first round, 3 rounds, he didn't shoot in a game 7.
You had something to say?
Yeah, the point we're all missing here is we are letting Nelly get away with defending Dwight Howard because in the end,
defending him for being a grown man and making his choice to leave.
You know
That's
why?
all he did.
Wait a second.
That's all he did. He made a choice to leave.
He couldn't take the pressure. Pressure that Kobe put on him to be great.
He ain't taking no pressure.
You know why? Because he's not made of Laker stuff.
Well, you know what Laker stuff is finna be next year? No playoffs. That's what Laker stuff is finna be.
Okay.
No playoffs, and if they make it in the 7th or 8th, they out in the first round.
I agree with that.
So that's where the Lakers stuff is at.
Okay, but I would not bet against those Lakers the following year.
I would not either.
But Nelly, I agree with you that I agree with you about the Dwight Howard. I don't agree with Skip on that. But I will say this: with the Dwight Howard, they still went home in the first round.
Sure did.
Oh yeah, he was hurt. What do you want to do? Where was Kobe?
Okay.
Where was Kobe?
No, Kobe
so was
hurt.
it Dwight Howard's team?
No. What I'm saying to you is that
was it Dwight
they were
Howard's
going
team?
home in the first round
Regardless.
That's
Okay.
right.
So you got the Rockets winning it all next year?
I didn't say that.
Well, you're going
I got
that
them going
direction.
further than the Lakers.
Well,
That's all that
easy
matters.
to do. Well, that's easy to do.
Oh, now it's easy to do.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
Because
this
you
is
always
James.
love the
Wait,
Lakers.
how many
It's a
championships?
recent year.
How many championships will Dwight win?
Hold on, I
with
need to
Harden?
take this out because I can't hear you.
Listen,
Say that
it's
again.
easy because we already know that 2013 is no bueno for the Lakers. Everybody knows
Why?
it's a regrouping year. We don't have anybody.
That's acceptable?
Kobe's injured. No, it's not acceptable. But don't bet on us. Do not bet on us in 2014. You already know we coming strong. That's what the franchise is about.
We don't know that.
We don't know who y'all getting
Let me
or
tell
what
you
y'all
something.
got. Y'all don't know no free agents. Ain't nobody been playing for y'all.
I
Why
don't
somebody gonna
doubt
come
that the
now?
Lakers will come back stronger than ever. You think they just gonna sit for the next 5-6 years and chill and not do anything and watch Kobe just limp his way into retirement? You think that's what the Lakers gonna do?
First off, you have to get people that's willing to come to the team and play. You got to get talent that's willing to come to the team and accept that you are not going to get your points that you've been getting. Your career stats is going down, and if you don't win before they blame him, they're going to look at you.
Right.
Okay.
Who wants that? Who wants that?
How far did you say? You said the Rockets are going to go further than the Lakers,
Way further.
obviously.
Okay, how many championships does Dwight win in Houston?
Does he win in Houston?
Yeah.
I mean, they still need some pieces, but I mean,
Pieces?
you don't know
They got
yet.
it all.
Yeah.
They need a couple of pieces, Skip, but I
Come
believe Dwight Howard in Houston.
They got Dwight Howard.
I think
That's
eventually.
it. You
well,
don't
I
need
mean,
anybody
those are
else
your
with
words.
D12.
I mean, listen, that's my dude. He gonna hold it down. It's not a problem. But what I'm saying is that you unfollowed him too?
I didn't unfollow. I never
Y'all
followed
got
him.
rappers out
I
here
never followed
talking.
him.
My man Q talking about her. Like everybody feelings hurt out here.
listen,
Like,
hold on,
y'all
Nelly,
serious?
Nelly,
crying. Everybody, Dwight,
hold
he
on,
left
Nelly.
us.
Nelly, don't blame
Come
us.
on, man.
Q was in constant and called him out on the stage.
That was
None of
on
us
him.
did.
That
what I'm
nothing to do with
saying.
us.
That's Q.
And first of all, I never followed Dwight, by
You
the way.
called him out here.
Oh, all the
You was
time.
hurt.
100%.
I have no problem with him leaving. He did the right thing leaving.
He should have left.
He did the right thing.
It was a bad marriage from the start.
know
Would you
what?
not agree?
You saying that now doesn't mean anything because he's gone.
I don't care if he's gone.
You
I was
wanted
like,
him
good
there.
riddance. No, I didn't. If you watch this show thoroughly, I have never, vouch for me on this one, Skip, never been a fan of Dwight
didn't-
Howard.
I didn't get the
I'm a
sense
fan
you
of
wanted
Dwight
him to
Howard.
leave,
Why is he
though.
not a fan?
I
He
wasn't-
won a gold medal. He led Orlando.
And he said his
Wait a
life
minute.
is a success because of his gold medal.
He led Orlando to the finals then, right? Okay. So you trying to tell me that he had more talent on that Orlando team than Kobe Bryant didn't have?
I think that team led him to the finals.
I'm asking who was on that Orlando team. Quick, give me the starting five. Quick.
Tito
Quick.
Kirkglue.
Quick. You can't even pronounce the man's name. Quick. You're not talking.
I got it, Rashard.
That's my point. He led them boys to the NBA Finals.
Because they made like 10,000 three-point shots.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Give me somebody who was an all-star.
He was the man for the Orlando Magic. That's undeniable. He was the man.
But what I'm saying is that
for the Orlando Magic.
Listen, this is the NBA. The lights are on regardless.
Right.
Of saying that you can't understand and have the pressures of playing in LA, that's just like telling me I can't perform on a stage in New York because it's different performing on a stage in LA. No, it's not. You can.
Nelly, we got to go because I want to make this last point. I said this yesterday. I don't believe it was the pressure of LA or anything like that. I do believe, however, the pressure that exists in Houston is something that he'll prefer because it's like in Houston, they just expect you to be Dwight Howard. In LA, they expect you to be the next on the Mount Rushmore of big men, and he didn't want to be a part of that tradition.
Why?
And I don't blame him for that. I don't blame him.
Why?
I don't blame him.
I mean, who said that?
Why didn't he want to?
Who said that? Who said that that's what they expected him to do? Why?
The Lakers?
Why?
Because he's one of the elite big men. He's the best big man in the game.
So why ain't nobody else on the team held to that standard?
Kobe is.
They all are.
Kobe?
Yeah. He's held.
We back to Kobe?
I'm saying he's held to that standard.
So you are comparing Kobe Bryant to Dwight Howard. You just did it.
No, what I'm saying
You
is
just did it.
if you are
I said, tell me somebody else. Your name was Kobe Bryant.
First of all, if you listen, you'll understand I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, go ahead,
What
Mr.
I'm saying
Jefferson.
to you is, what I'm saying to you, Mr. Jefferson.
Talk to me,
call
Mr.
that?
J.
But anyway, all I'm saying is this. If you are a member of the Lakers have their tradition. There is a standard that they hold everybody to.
Okay.
You have some players, they don't want a part of that. It's not that they're scared of it or whatever.
Why
They
is
don't
it
want a
that he
part of
just did not want to play with Kobe? Why is that not acceptable?
Why is it acceptable to you? You don't know that for sure, do you?
Why is it that he just didn't want to play with Kobe?
So
I'm asking the question, why is that not possible? I'm just asking.
Because there's too many other problems.
Because it's the same guy. It's very suspicious that Kobe unfollowed him as soon as he gone. That's my point. My point is like,
He's not going to be friends with him anymore.
Listen, man, to be a good teammate, to be a good leader, it's on and off the court.
It's
on and off the court.
He's a rival.
On and off the court.
I'm not implying that he wanted to play with Kobe. I'm sure that was a factor. Because this dude told the Lakers, he said, I'm a decent guy, I'm a nice guy, I'm fun-loving, I got a heart. I don't know if Kobe has a heart. He said that to the Lakers.
I don't know
That's what
if
he said.
nobody leaving $30 million on the table.
He said that to Kobe. Well, first of all, it's not $30 million because you got the 4 years. It would have been 5 years, $118 million with the Lakers. It's 4 years, $88 million with the Houston Rockets. If they was 4 years with the, and he gets to re-up, so he ain't gonna lose the money that everybody thinks he's gonna lose. That's number one.
But he left money on the table, right?
I'm just saying, you left guaranteed money on the table, no question about it. But he can get it after 3 years. All I'm saying to you is, in the end, no matter what the Kobe factor was, I interviewed him. You saw him on camera. I know he's your boy. You know him. But he told me on camera, if Phil was the coach,
right,
then it would have been different.
Of course.
All right, then. So how come that can't be it? How come the organization
because
can't be
he probably believes that Phil can control Kobe Bryant.
So we're back to Kobe again.
Yeah.
So it's all about Kobe.
Why are we not?
Why
are we not?
That's your argument. That's fine. This is a debate
Because
show. You can't be right or wrong.
Because
That can be your issue, and let that be Kobe.
This is the spoiled child that LA has created.
Kobe Bryant's the spoiled child that Los Angeles Lakers have created.
The fans and everybody has created.
The only thing that needs to be said is this. Sometimes your answers are most profound when you say very little. The man knows Dwight Howard. I asked him a question.
Yep.
He answered it without saying, why can't it be Kobe?
Exactly.
We get it.
We get it. We're picking up what you put down.
I didn't say that.
Ride
He
for
didn't say
D12.
that.
I'm riding for Kobe.
This is what I'm talking about. Nelly obviously has a problem with Kobe Bryant. Go look at Pau Gasol's stats. Pau Gasol never won a playoff game. Pau Gasol was averaging in his 20s, and his last year in Memphis, he dropped down to 18.8, something like that, before he even got to the Lakers. So this dude, Nelly, is cherry picking stats. But what's interesting is he just said he never made anyone better. I'm sorry, can you not make a case that LeBron never made anyone better? I mean, let's look at Kyle Korver, who was an all-star before he got there. His numbers went way down. Let's look at J.R. Smith, sixth man of the year. Numbers went way down. Let's look at everybody that I can name right now that was better when they went to play with LeBron. Actually, their numbers got worse. Their numbers suffered. Starting with Chris Bosh. Starting with, Chris Bosh, whose numbers were great. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you something. Look at his basketball usage. How much time during the game out of 48 minutes does he have the ball in his hand? When his team, if his team has the ball 30 minutes out of 48, he gonna have the ball in his hand at least 27 minutes. Facts. 28. I would say at least 25 out of 30 minutes. He at least got the ball in his hand that many times, man. This dude keeps the ball in his hand 85% of the time. So how is it that people act amazed? If I got the ball out of 30 minutes, if I got the ball in my hand 28 minutes, I'm gonna get a lot of assists. And if I'm sagging off my man, like, look, I'm gonna give you some advanced analytics. Because I'm giving you facts, but I'm gonna be a hater anyway. You see how fucked up it is? I'm giving you facts, but I'm a hater. Advanced analytics, he boxes out like 1.8 times a game. So if he averages 7 rebounds, that means 5 of them would chase down rebounds. Per game, the times that he collapses the defense and makes a pass, I think it's right at 2 as well. It's like 2.3 at the most. So if he averages 8 assists, that means 6 of those 6.5 times out of 8. Most of those assists are 5.5 times out of 8. I'm sorry, 5.5 times out of 8. Those assists are somebody that's been ran off a screen, or somebody that's wide open. He just throw the ball to him and they lay the ball up and hit a jumper. This is what I'm talking about. Stat padding. This is that era. You can't play defense anymore. But he's allowed to be like a bull in the china shop and attack the lane with his shoulders and nudge people out the way. This is the type of things that I'm saying that I see that Nelly is funny. The stuff Nelly's saying now, put LeBron's name in there. Because I can make the case that he's never made anybody. There are at least, I can say, at least 6 players I can name right now that he probably never improved. And I'm just guessing. But I guarantee you there were 6 players. Derrick Rose, Isaiah Thomas. Yeah, he was injured, but this dude came back and in 8 games, he was off the team. Dwayne Wade, who just was able to inch his team into the playoffs without LeBron. What's going on? You see what I'm saying? That's just a few. That's just 3. Chris Bosh, that's 4. You see what I'm saying? I just named you Kyle Korver. So don't tell me that this guy by the name of LeBron James makes players better. No, he stat pads and gets his numbers just like James Harden. There's an asterisk by James Harden's numbers in my mind for a reason. Oh, you a hater. He had 60. Did you watch the damn game? Like, I ain't gonna lie, the other night he got hot, so I'm not gonna hate on him. The other night he actually got hot from the floor, so I give him that. But a lot of games where he hit 50, 60, this dude is just dribble. Even when he gets hot, dribble. We got in 4 seconds. Step back 3. Like, what the fuck, man? This is how he plays the game. The ball don't flow. The rest of the team just standing there watching him. Like, and you call that basketball? That's not basketball. Oh, well, you're just a purist, and you just look, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Everybody say Drake is a lot of say everybody. A lot of people says Drake is the best rapper right now. Drake don't write his own rhymes. I don't give a fuck how many people in mainstream America say that Drake is the best rapper right now. He's the top 5. Drake ain't on any real hip-hop purist will never put Drake in their top 5, top 10. He can't be. I'll never put Drake past Rakim. I'll never put Drake past, the greats. I wouldn't even put Drake past Lil Wayne. You can't. I mean, you really can't. If you want to go back, you really can't. So that's what I'm saying. Like, people just are prisoners of the moment, and that's it. Let me keep going. I just want to keep this video. I just want to throw this in there because I just went back and listened to Nelly. But I'm still watching it, man. Like, look at the energy Nelly got towards him, though. That wasn't whack. That he unfollowed the guy on Twitter. All this bullshit that LeBron doing right now. I wonder what Nelly got to say now. See, let me tell y'all something about LeBron, man. I got into it with a dude. Man, this dude almost went to blows over LeBron on some dumb shit. Because this dude, he a capper. He lived down there in Miami. And he played golf with LeBron a couple of times. And LeBron, he said, man, LeBron a good brother. He cool. He nice. He this, he that. fuck Michael Jordan, fuck Kobe, these niggas was this, these niggas was that. Let me tell y'all something, man. When black folks see that you cool and you'll actually speak to people and talk to them, they'll go make excuses for your mediocrity. See, because as long as you played golf with a motherfucker, as long as you built a school for a tax write-off that the taxpayers have to pay for right now, right? As long as you did that, well, he built the school. You know how many NBA players done built schools? You know how many houses Warwick Dunn has built for single moms? You know how many dudes? I think it's a dude in the NFL right now. Warwick Dunn bought his mama a house and built his mama a house when he was a kid. You know how many people that see this shit for what it is and don't go out and brag about it? And how many people just out here doing what the fuck they got to do for the community? But LeBron goes to ESPN, and because he got this media machine behind him that we've never seen before, everything he does get. I mean, they had a damn week special for LeBron. That shit was on Nightline, ABC. I was like, God damn, over a school? Why didn't he do this shit for Jalen Rose? He did the exact same thing. Why didn't Jalen Rose get a Nightline special? If it's bigger than basketball, right? More than an athlete, it's cause it's LeBron. That's what it is, man. Nelly ain't got shit to say now, though. Nelly quiet as hell. I mean, I'm struggling. I mean, I'm trying to understand how, as I listen to Nelly on this thing, how is it that LeBron right now, you have, what, 3 top 5 picks? 3 top 3 picks, actually. Well, I ain't gonna say that. They traded Julius Randle, who was a top 10. I think he's a lottery pick. They traded him because I don't know what LeBron was thinking, but I guess he wanted him gone before he got there, right? I guess they were trying to clear up cap space. They thought they was gonna get Anthony Davis. But let's be honest, Kyle Kuzma right now coming out of college would be a top 10 pick. Easy. Easy. You see what I'm saying? He came out with Lonzo last year. Lonzo wouldn't be a top 10 pick, but he is a number 2 pick overall. So, but technically Lonzo really wouldn't be one. Who has he elevated? Who's played better? In fact, I'll make the argument D-Wade went from being a top 3 player, and I think the biggest mistake he made, he stunted his growth, as this guy stunted growth. That's a YouTube channel. His brother made a video about D-Wade. He said his biggest mistake was taking a backseat to LeBron James. LeBron should have been Robin. LeBron was Robin, but he tried to play Robin, and then when it came time, he became Batman. No. LeBron should have been Robin. LeBron should have took a backseat, but the media hyped him so much, and D-Wade took a backseat, and he's never been the D-Wade of old. When I tell you D-Wade could have been a top, D-Wade could have been a Mount Rushmore top 4 all-time player. He could. But he sat back and let LeBron lead on that team, or try to. And that team, really, all LeBron would do was get stats. And, I mean, shit, if you got Shane Battier, one of the best defenders, locking up the other team's best player, your job is easy. You know what I'm saying? He's not doing like Kobe and checking the other team's best player, or Jordan and Pippen. Pippen checked the other team's best player, but a lot of times Jordan would too. Jordan wasn't no bitch on defense. That's one thing. Jordan was first team all defense at 34 years old, 34 years old. So by now Jordan had his 6th title, but they still putting this dude over Jordan. Come on, man. So like that's what I'm saying. Like even if you look at like when he said the part about everybody wants to sweep 2006 under the rug. Well, with LeBron, everybody wants to sweep 2011 under the rug, where he went to the finals and he pretty much dropped from averaging 27 points a game to 17 points a game in the finals. He was supposedly had just locked up that year's MVP in Derrick Rose, right? Supposedly locked him up. I remember everybody was talking about, oh my God, his defense was just so. Then you got a 35, 37-year-old Jason Terry giving you buckets the whole game, hitting threes. Jason Terry literally said to the media, he can't guard me. He said that. LeBron James can't guard me. He confidently said that during that series, and everybody got quiet and acted like they didn't hear it. And the man commenced to dropping buckets on LeBron, making him like look bad at 36, 35 years old. You wasn't supposed to do that if he can lock up Derrick Rose. He damn sure supposed to be lock up a 35, 36-year-old Jason Terry, but he wasn't able to do that. This is what I'm talking about favoritism, man. Real talk. And another thing, man, like people need to stop saying just because somebody went to the finals out the East and got destroyed, that makes them great. Like, let's just stop that bullshit, man. Okay? Because clearly we're seeing with LeBron that when he goes to the West, shit ain't as easy. It ain't no cakewalk. Because I promise you, this same exact Lakers team will probably be 3rd or 4th in the East right now. Probably 4th. Maybe 5th or 6th, but they damn sure will be in the playoffs. I do not see that with this. And that's the thing. Like, people make these real unfair arguments and false equivalencies about, well, I mean, he led the Orlando Magic to the finals with nobody. That team was great defensively. There wasn't no weak ass team he was on. But people talk like, oh, well, he led that team to the finals. This, that. Let me look. I'm gonna look it up right quick. I'm gonna look up what was the 2010 Orlando Magic, because people seem to think that team was just bullshit. Like they was just a weak ass team. They didn't have no stats. They didn't have shit. See, that's the shit I'm talking about, man. Like, people don't really look at that team, man. Like, what was their record for the season? Their record, that was a 59-win team. That team won damn near 60 games. First in the NBA Southeast Division. That team was great defensively. Defensive rating, 3rd defensively. 4th offensively. You talking like this some weak ass team this team out of all the teams in the NBA that year was ranked 4th offensively and 3rd defensively, holding teams to an average of 103 points a game while averaging 111 points per game. They were expected to be first. They were expected to be 61-21. This the shit I'm talking about. Motherfuckers don't know the game, but they talk that shit. Who was on the team? It don't make no difference. Shit, you can name, look, if I go back and name the 2004 Detroit Pistons, it's because they had guys like Ben Wallace was not the central piece of that damn team. You can name them now: Chauncey Billups, Ben Wallace, and what's his face? Rasheed Wallace. Those are the main 3 people can name. But if you have to go with Lindsey Hunter, you have to go, because those guys came and actually won a championship. It was a big deal that they won. That's why they became what they became. But if you look at that team was a workman's like team. That team was a team of role players, and that's kind of like how this Stan Van Gundy's team was built in 2009, 2010. Know the game before you just talk shit. Nelly is on ESPN espousing that bullshit, and nobody can call him on it. But then, you know, and the funny thing is he'll defend LeBron because that's probably his homeboy. He'd have been down in Miami hanging out with LeBron and party with it. So he fuck with LeBron. That's his homeboy. That's what LeBron did that was smart, was befriending a lot of people instead of Michael Jordan and Kobe just kicked ass to where it was just undeniable. They didn't party. I never forget Kobe came to Atlanta. They dogged out the damn Hawks. Kobe had like 36 points, but throughout the whole damn game, Kobe, I think he had like 18 going into the 4th. Man, Kobe bust, man, Joe Johnson. Kobe came down, about 5 threes on his ass straight. Joe Johnson was checking his ass all the way whole court, full court pressure. Kobe was juking his ass, pulling up way out. I was like, damn, everybody was running up and down the damn aisles and shit, dapping each other. That's the thing. Like, I can't remember going to a Hawks game and seeing LeBron getting, you know, that type of love. In fact, the last Hawks game not too long ago, I went to, it was against the Lakers, and they literally chanted Kobe's better. Nobody does that 1 year out of his prime, because I'm assuming he was still in his prime if he went to the finals, right? Supposedly, right? He's still the same nigga right now. He still got his points. But the crowd, if you watch that game, you see he ain't shit, and you say Kobe's better. The whole crowd was chanting that shit. Then it was telling people, Kobe, LeBron's gonna trade you the whole game, because everybody know that's what LeBron do. He try to trade he gonna do that shit next year. Same thing. They gonna trade. If they don't trade these people this summer, the optics of it gonna look bad. He gonna wait to the trade deadline. He gonna try to trade that whole damn team. You mark my words. Okay, so I know you like, well, damn, man. I mean, he said that about Kobe. That's LeBron right now. That's LeBron. And I'm going to tell you something. If it was up, I would rather play with Kobe. But the only thing is with LeBron, I'm going to tell you, it used to be this way, but it's not anymore. The reason LeBron got a pass was because LeBron would actually try to act like he's your friend. Kobe was militant with it. Kobe was the type of guy, if you coming in and you're not doing your job and he feels like you're not playing ball or doing, you know, what you're supposed to do, he's going to let you know. He's going to sit there and let you know that you didn't play the ball, play the game right, or he's going to come to practice and be arguing with you. That's Kobe. He's going to make it uncomfortable for you because Kobe expects greatness. That's it. LeBron probably don't even come to practice half the time. I'm just being honest. He gets in the game. He's up there ignoring. His coach would be giving instructions. He would have his back turned. He'll go down to the end of the bench and sit there. And then when Walt Frazier, and what's brought this video on was Walt Frazier, who's a legend and a well-respected guy in the industry, right? Walt Frazier basically said, look, man, his body language is bad. You know, he needs to, you know, change his body language. Just looks like he doesn't care to me. I just don't think he cares because, I mean, you sitting at the end of the bench. I mean, you know, kids are, you know, so the next day, instead of people coming and saying, well, does LeBron really care? Because, I mean, he is sitting at the end of the bench, his body language. And, of course, you could go in front of the media and make these little tough guy speeches about, hey, you know, you don't need to be here if you don't, you know, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, I mean, it is questionable that if you're not giving effort on both ends of the floor and you got people, see, this is why I'm telling you people call it haters, right? Because when you see a grown ass man come down the court, point the fingers at his teammates while his man scores and then doesn't give effort on defense, but yet you go the next day and the media doesn't even mention it, right? And then the media says something like, well, you know what, man, what did they say? They say, man, you know what? He's pretty much, what did he say? The media comes in and say, well, look, man, defense doesn't even count with LeBron. You know, defense doesn't count. You know, why? Because that would take LeBron out of the conversation of being the best player on the planet. Like they've been programming people to say. See, right now, there's a people in the comment section gonna come in the comment section and make excuses for this mediocrity that we're seeing. And you're like, well, he's getting old and he got injured. Let's look at the schedule before they got injured, because everybody keeps talking about the schedule that they had before they got injured. And that's why if he hadn't got hurt, they'd have been good. Let's look at the schedule. First 3 games of the season, Portland Trail Blazers, Houston Rockets, San Antonio Spurs, they lost. They finally beat a weak-ass Phoenix Suns team. They finally beat the Denver Nuggets. That was a good win. That's the first quality win that they had, right? Lost to the San Antonio Spurs at home. Lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Then they beat the Dallas Mavericks, a team out of the playoffs. The only team you're going to see that they really beat that was even quality was the Portland Trail Blazers. That and this Denver, and I think that's it. They beat maybe 1 or 2 quality teams throughout this whole season. I mean, throughout the whole time before they got to that Christmas injury that he had. So then they beat the Portland Trail Blazers, lost to Toronto, beat the Minnesota Timberwolves, a team not making the playoffs, beat the Sacramento Kings, a team not making the playoffs, beat the Atlanta Hawks, a team not making the playoffs, beat the Portland Trail Blazers. I told you. Let me keep going. The Orlando Magic, they lost to them. I don't even know if they in the playoffs or not. They beat the Miami Heat, a team struggled. They struggled to make it, but not in the AC. But they weren't a playoff team a couple of weeks ago. Cleveland Cavaliers, they beat, of course. Beat the Utah Jazz. That's a team. That's a team that actually counts. So that's maybe their 3rd win over a team that's actually quality, right? Now we already to November 23rd. November 25th, they played the Orlando Magic, lost to the Denver Nuggets. They beat the Pacers, which, okay, The Pacers had Victor Oladipo at the time. The Pacers are actually looking good in the East. But I'm being honest, I don't think the Pacers they would struggle in the West. But let's just say that's a quality win too. Okay, so we'll give you that. They beat the Dallas Mavericks, another weak team. Beat the Phoenix Suns, another weak team. They finally beat the San Antonio Spurs, right? Finally on December 5th. Then they lost to the Spurs on the 7th. They beat the Memphis Grizzlies, a team that doesn't make the playoffs, right? They beat the Miami Heat. Of course, that was, we all know that's a team that barely made it in the East. But in the West, that team probably wouldn't make it either. So a couple of these, like the Indiana Pacers, I ain't even say the Pacers because I think they're like a 3rd seed or something in the East. So I'm gonna respect that team. But the Miami Heat, those are teams that really we should barely count. Who else did they lose to? Lost to the Rockets. Okay. They beat the Charlotte Hornets out of the playoffs. Lost to the Wizards. Okay. Weird. Lost to the Brooklyn Nets. Okay. They beat the New Orleans Pelicans. Okay, you probably should beat the Pelicans. They didn't make it. They didn't even make the playoffs. See what I'm saying? Let's see who else they beat. On Christmas Day, the day of the injury, they beat the Golden State Warriors. So from that time back, name a bunch of quality wins. I would say out of most of these wins that they've had, I say maybe 5 of them were good quality wins. The rest of them are just wins of teams they should be. So when people say stuff like, well, I mean, they were in the 3rd seed or 4th seed before he got injured. You act like he was going to play the rest of the season and they was going to go and beat these teams that they beat. You act like they didn't have these same problems because they had a lot of key weird ass losses prior to the injury to teams that they should have beat. But they would lose to teams. Or the score would be barely beat. Like when they beat the Hawks ain't making the playoffs, but they beat the Hawks by 1 point at home. See, this is stuff people don't pay attention to. You play the Hawks to within 1 point. What the hell are you doing? You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. And when you point this out, you a hater. Even when I listen to TV right now, I hear people saying stuff like, well, I mean, LeBron is pretty much playing on a team where, he doesn't have any help. Let's look at it. Let's look at that myth, right? Okay, LeBron doesn't have any help. I'm sorry. I think Kyle Kuzma, and you can make an argument, Kyle Kuzma's the best player on that team. You can make an argument Brandon Ingram is the best player on that. You can make an argument. Now, I don't know. I really can't even say he's not because, quite frankly, he don't have a green light LeBron has either. He could probably score just as much. And he's going to probably play better defense. Brandon Ingram is going to probably score just as much if he takes that amount of shots. Brandon Ingram, from the All-Star break to the time that he stopped playing, which was about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, he was averaging like almost 30 points a game, like 28 points a game. Brandon Ingram. He had, what's his name? Kyle Kuzma, who pissed LeBron off when he put a post up about how clutch Kobe was when they lost out to the Phoenix Suns and he was all pouting and acting silly. He put that post up, and when he did that, it pissed off LeBron, right? So LeBron, from that point on, he stopped getting as many shots as he used to get. He used to get like 15 shots a game. That boy started getting 8 shots, 9 shots a game. His scoring has went down. Why? Mysteriously. Before that, he was getting as many shots as he wanted. He could take 15, 16 shots a game. You know, LeBron's taking 30 shots. Nobody says nothing, but he's unselfish. 30 shots a game. When you go and look at the finals, the year that everybody got hurt, he was taking like 35, 40 shots a game. Well, if you look at it, his field goal percentage is under 35%. But the media will never tell you that. They'll say, oh my God, that's one of the greatest finals performances we've ever seen. That's what I'm saying. It's just like right now, with James Harden, the way James Harden plays the game, I can't respect the way he plays the game because I know in my heart of hearts that he's not playing the game really. To me, I think he's really a guy who stat pads. That's just me. And this is the era of stat padders. Guys that, you know, if you go back historically, This is just me understanding the game. If you go back and look at the Bulls and the teams that they were playing, you were a hot damn team if you scored 100 points a game. If you broke the clock, bust the clock as they used to call it. That used to be a big deal if you burst the clock and get over 100 points. Nobody got 100 points. Most of the time, people, what they did was they took guys that were physical. They allowed people to hand check. You go back and check the finals in the 1998, 97. These guys were averaging 85 points a game in the finals. So when Michael Jordan was getting 35, 40 points, he was damn near scoring 50%, and he was shooting over 50% half the time from the field. Most of his shots were from out 15-foot fadeaways, jumpers. That's what Jordan did. He didn't score a lot of layups. He didn't. If you take LeBron statistically and you look at his career, his entire career, and you go and break it down, his stats, what you'll see is statistically, 70% of LeBron's buckets come from within 15 feet. 10 feet or closer. You know what I'm saying? Not even 10 feet. I think it's like, what's that number? I think it's 5 feet. I think they say like 65, 70% of his buckets come from the free throw and from 5 feet or less. That's LeBron. So this is what I'm talking about. But if you listen to Nick Wright, and when he had played the same amount of games that Jordan had played over his whole life, even though he had played way more minutes than Jordan played by that time, but they just measured game against game. Nick Wright went and cherry-picked statistics. For example, if you take off Michael Jordan's last 2 years, where he came back at 40 years old after smoking cigars for 3 years and gaining all that weight and stuff like that, and was a shell of himself, still a top 10 player, but he was a shell of what he used to be back in like 2003 when he was still playing with the Wizards. That's what dropped Jordan's stats. Jordan's stats without those last 2 years are phenomenal. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and be fair. The excuses that they're making for LeBron right now, let's do the same thing for Michael Jordan. Okay? So let's take Jordan's first year. We skip his second year because that doesn't count because he didn't play but 10, 12 games that whole year. It came into the playoffs and went and dropped 63 on the Celtics. One of the greatest top five. They say that's a top 5 team in history that he lost to when they talk about him getting swept. But that's an excuse that we give Mike. Let's just scratch that second year. That's an excuse, right? Okay, the team he lost to, the Milwaukee Bucks, I think that team won like 55 games. That was no weak ass team he lost to. But let's say, okay, he lost to that team. That's his first 2 years. Now, take him out. We're making an excuse for the second year. So let's count the third year. The third year, 87, 88, I think he lost to the Celtics. But I think he got that first round. I think he got Cleveland. And that's when he hit the shot. And then he went and played Boston and lost. I think it was Boston. Then he went the next year, 89. That's when he went and lost to the Pistons. I think it was the Pistons, one of them. But he lost that game. But he went and ran into some people that won championships, right? Then he went in 1990 and lost. That was the year he shook everybody's hand and walked off the floor, right? Then 1991, the rest is history, right? Because that's when he got over the hump. 91, 92, 93, he retires, plays basketball, 93.
Hey, do me a favor, sign up at Sub-Zero3639 Sports. I'll have the link in the description. Be blessed. Thank you.